So let's get into test, train, and maintain.
Yeah, Tom, one of the things you'll find is that, organizations probably don't exercise enough, and really exercising is an opportunity to work through the processes in an environment. There's different environments. There's seminars, workshops, tabletops, and games that are discussion based. You sit in a room and you talk through it. It's low stress. You get the opportunity to go through it, and then individuals can feed off of one another and hear their responses and see if there's a better way. But then you have operational based training, which is the drills, functional exercises, and full scale. Of course, full scale is where you're actually moving equipment. So if you're an ambulance service, you're actually taking ambulances from point A to point B. Maybe you have actors that are out there in the field and they're laying that car crash, and individual, they have a tag talking about what injuries they have, and then they practice the full scale practices, all the facets of the processes, and then actually maybe even transport individuals just to make sure that they're doing everything right. And these can be used very, very effectively. It's a training block and building block concept. And what we like to do is that we build up to it. So maybe you have a workshop to educate folks on the business continuity plan, and then you have a tabletop and you throw different scenarios out there so that they understand, how they have to look up the document and what decisions they have to make. And then you'll have a drill, and then maybe eventually you'll have a functional or a full scale exercise where your company will actually go through it to make sure that the business continuity plan, individuals know their roles. And it also gives you an opportunity to find out when something doesn't work. Again, you design this whole plan, but maybe there's just something out there that just because of the way the operationally something happens in the field, it needs to be changed. And we've seen that. And I'll talk about that at the very end. So discussion-based exercises are a great opportunity to educate individuals on the plans, policies, agreements. You go through and you'll start to talk to them about, here's the scenario, what would you do? And you may look over at HR and say, what would you do at this point? Or maybe look over at an executive and say, okay, what steps are you taking? And then operationally. And then individuals are talking about that. And then you have evaluators that are looking at that. And then afterwards, after everything's done, those evaluators may come back and say, look, when you responded in this way, if you look at the plan, you forgot these steps. And it just gives you the opportunity to, in a low stress environment, educate individuals. And it can be all small groups. Let's just say you just want to work with the HR group. So you turn around and you say, I'm going to do a tabletop with just the HR group to make sure that they've embraced all the roles they have during an incident. And then you can have a larger group and then have those representatives. I've been in tabletops that have done disasters such as storms, accidents such as hazardous waste material being, because of a car accident, being on a highway. And I've also conducted and actually been part of tabletops that were associated with violence, terrorism, domestic terrorism. So the fact is that it can be used for all this, but again, it helps you educate, and it helps you make sure that your staff had the opportunity to get comfortable and know the processes and know the plans, the business continuity plan. This just talks about the different areas. Again, seminar is a way to update people on new plans. So let's say that you ended up putting a new piece of equipment in, a new technology. It gives you the opportunity to come in and educate individuals about how that new technology will impact the operations. The workshop is a local workshop. It talks to the individuals about new ideas, processes, procedures. It trains groups, and it also gives individuals an opportunity to work together and reach a consensus on the process. And then a lot of times you'll go from these and you'll go back and you'll actually update your business continuity plan. The tabletop, we talked about that. It's an exercise intended to simulate a discussion. So you may have everybody come in and say, okay, it's Saturday at 1 o'clock in the morning, and this is what happened at our facility. Okay, let's start talking through what do we do? And somebody may say, well, I called staff. Okay, so and everybody's on staff has reached the facility.